Story for us is going to be not only wind, but colder air that's in place here coming up shortly. That's what I want to highlight, but let's talk about what it's going to be like in terms of the wind here before we focus on significant cold air. And let's pick up any spots that are a little windy. And at this moment, what we're going to see is quieter conditions at the moment. Now, it feels good outside at the moment, but it's not going to be that way the rest of the afternoon. Here's what it's like the rest of the next several hours. We're starting to see secure these loose items. This thing's going to be blowing around significantly over the next several hours. We have a wind advisory now through noon. That's why we have a weather impact alert. That carries all the way down to Franklin, Jefferson, Monroe counties. So that's where it's going to be the windiest. However, it's going to be windy for everybody. But we have temps right now in the low 50s, so feeling pretty good at this moment. Notice the cooler air to the north. This is kind of this warm finger with a west-southwest breeze that we have. But the wind's going to start to pick up. You'll notice that we're in the 50s now. If you're getting up early this morning and dressing like what you're going to feel like right now, things are going to change a lot. Look at our wind speeds right now. These are just sustained winds. We already have gusts up to 37 miles an hour in St. Charles, 25 sustained. So that's the direction that this is coming from. And over the next several hours, you'll start to see that's the front that pushes through. And I'll focus on a few showers that are settling in from Carlisle, Breeze, New Athens, south of Belleville, Festus, Potosi, and Richwoods. This is what we're going to see over the next several hours. But like I said, it's going to usher in that colder air behind the front. You'll see that 30s and 40s. That's what's coming in later on today. That's what's going to feel like when we see these winds gusting out of the northwest at about 40, maybe in upwards of 50 miles an hour in some cases, especially in our northern area. So like I told Paul earlier, that's why I think it's going to be difficult to drive. Now, again, in the afternoon and evening, it does settle down just a little bit. But the next several hours, we go from the upper 40s now to the 30s and upper 30s. So this 37 is going to feel like about 25. So big difference, though, although it will settle down. And then I mentioned how cold it's going to get. We're going to see a big blob of below average temperatures that are going to be with us here from the weekend all the way through the first part of the week. And you're talking about significant cold air that's going to be in place. So first part today, temperatures falling all the way into the upper 30s. Don't expect where we are now. We've already seen our daytime high. Dress for this number, 38 degrees. It's windy. It will settle down the rest of the day. That's the way the first part of the day is a weather impact alert. Tomorrow's 38 feels quite a bit different. We nudge up to 40 on Friday. However, Saturday and Sunday, things change. That's our next set of weather impact alert days for a look at temperature falling into the single digits overnight. And this is where we're talking about the potential for pipes freezing, things like that, where we're going to see that prolonged cold air that settles into the region Saturday night into Sunday, as we only get to about 20 or 21 for a high. So we've got another 36-hour period where it's going to be pretty cold. Now, I am optimistic that leaves us pretty quickly into next week, as I do see a warming trend again. But in terms of what we're going to expect the next 12 hours, we've got kind of a busy time with this front moving through and then another surge of colder air, which we'll continue to monitor the rest of the morning.
The rush is on to help St. Louis tornado survivors still dealing with home damage.
In many cases, the homes aren't safe to live in, but homeowners are afraid to leave or have nowhere else to go. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon shows us a grassroots effort underway and how you can show support.
I can say gratefully now, put one foot in front of the other.
A good attitude and the support of his neighbors, helping Navy veteran Bill Atkins weather one of the toughest times of his life. Back on May 16th, he was trying to get to safety.
And I was about 2 feet from the doorway to the basement.
But he couldn't get there before heavy debris flew through his window.
As I was taking a step, it just sheared off my lower leg. I have a prosthetic now.
Add to that another frustration plaguing he and so many of his neighbors in the Academy neighborhood.
We need to get back in our home, and we can't.
A lot of our neighbors, we don't even know where they are because they've been displaced. Some are attempting to stay in their homes simply because if they leave, all their possessions might walk out behind them.
With heavy winds and cold weather in the forecast, volunteers are now racing to the rescue. The Rebuild Academy effort, organized by neighbors Allie Rand and Carol Lynn Hoff-Bell, has drawn volunteers from all over, clearing storm damage, stabilizing homes, and now making repairs, rooftops, flooring, brickwork. Thousands of dollars in donations have paved the way.
It rebuilt actually the walls here on this home over here, a couple of the homes over on Enright also, as well as over on Clarendon.
Now they're teaming up with Catholic Charities to keep that goodwill flowing so the work can ramp up ahead of the bitter cold.
And I need windows.
Got it.
To get through the winter. We're in a dire situation.
Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
Volunteers meet this Friday and Saturday from 9 a.m. until noon in the Academy neighborhood. For more information on volunteering or if you would like to donate to the rebuild effort, visit the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com.
Power outages can often happen during winter storms. Walker Lawson has some advice for staying safe when your power goes out.
There are ways you can stay safe. The Red Cross of South Carolina recommends having a kit before the first flakes fall.
If you lose power, you lose water. So make sure you have, water for your family members. We always like to say at least 3 days worth. Hopefully power wouldn't be out that long, but we never know.
Rebecca Jordan, executive director for the Red Cross of South Carolina, says using batteries is better for lighting than candles and to keep blankets to stay warm.
A lot of home fires in South Carolina, on average 6 a day. So we don't want people to use candles. I mean, even without losing power, we sometimes see people use space heaters and maybe have them too close to curtains or a sofa where then they ignite. So we do see fires, but a lot of fires start in the kitchen. So.
That's when Columbia Fire has to respond. Mike DeSuma, public information officer with Columbia Fire, says during these events, they respond most to accidents on the roadways, but there's always a risk for fires.
If you haven't, used your fireplace in a while, during a storm event is not really the time to just fire it up and see what happens. You got to make sure your fireplace is good to burn. It's really good if you've burned it in already and know it's safe to go. Definitely making sure you have a screen in front of your fireplace to prevent any embers from flying out there and catching stuff on fire.
DeSuma advises people to have a friend or family's place to go if it's cold and you lose power.
Window treatments can help save you money in your heating costs this winter. The Energy Department estimates in an average home, 1/3 of heat is lost through the windows. You can prevent some of that from happening by keeping the drapes or shades closed at night. That can actually act as an extra layer of insulation between your home and the windows. This helps keep up to 10% more heat inside your home, which can lower your energy bill. And don't forget about your plants in the winter. Experts say 24 hours before a big freeze, water your plants deeply, soaking them all the way down to the root. That will help insulate vegetables, herbs, and flowers. You can also get covers to protect your plants. One expert says he uses Christmas lights.
Just covering a plant when it goes down below freezing and stays below freezing for 2 days, that is a penetrating cold, and a cover oftentimes is not enough. I figured out that if you put Christmas lights around a plant, especially at the soil, and plug them in, they're heaters. It's an indoor-outdoor heater.
You can also try adding mulch to any landscaping beds and on top of soil for newly planted shrubs and trees. That will also help insulate plants in the freezing weather. And just like people and plants, extreme cold can also be harmful to your pets. Experts say a good rule of thumb is if you're cold outside, your animals will be too.
If you have a very young or very old animal, they're even more susceptible to the cold. So if pets do have to be outside, make sure that they're cuddly and safe and warm. There are ways to weatherproof things for animals that maybe, you have a community cat you're caring for. Lots of great stuff you can do there. But for your pets, just please bring them inside. It is far too cold. Additionally, cats and small mammals might seek shelter near or under your car. So honk the horn, tap on that top of the car, get them out of there. Wipe your pet's paws off if you have salt or other chemicals on the pavement, and just use your best judgment.
Veterinarians and other experts also recommend snow boots for your dogs to protect their paws. It can also help them keep safe from the ice when it melts, which can be toxic for pets, and prevent them from getting frostbite. Yes, dogs can get frostbite too if the temperature is below 32 degrees. The American Kennel Club says dogs' tails, ears, nose, and paws are more susceptible. Well, that does it for us today on this Weather Impact Special. I'm Jessica Janner Castro. Thanks so much for watching, and stay safe and warm this winter.